Every woman in the Su family had to stuff copper coins in all 7 openings of her face and sleep by the ancestral graves for a whole night on her 15th birthday. This weird ritual was supposed to summon the ancestors from below to reveal who their future husband would be. My older sister Su Yao went through this and got matched with Zhen Baiwan, a man so loaded he could buy a small country. When it was my turn, Su Tian, the 7 copper coins had barely settled on my eyelids before I heard a raspy old voice rise up from the graves. Kun hexagram, 6 broken lines, earth carries all, do nothing, just lie there and you'll win. The next morning I woke up and found all 7 copper coins sitting perfectly aligned right in my palm. At the exact same moment, an imperial decree came knocking at the Su family's front door. The palace was holding a selection ceremony. Day 1 in the palace, I thought. The hexagram literally said do nothing and lie there to win. So why would I bother fighting for the emperor's attention? The girls ahead of me were gorgeous, talented, every single one of them peacocking like they were born for the spotlight. Me? My looks and talents? I was basically a half-asleep barnyard chicken by comparison. If I won, I'd have to deal with an emperor whose mind was allegedly darker than the palace corridors, plus a harem full of women who'd love to see me dead. If I lost, best case scenario, I'd rot away in some forgotten corner, burning incense for the rest of my life. Either way, this was a terrible deal. And that hexagram? It was basically a divine mandate, the perfect theoretical and practical guide for my lazy lifestyle. I believed it. Or rather, I chose to believe it, no hesitation. And just like that, I kicked off the eat and sleep slacker life I'd always dreamed of, right inside the most cutthroat status game in the empire. New girls were supposed to wake up before 5 a.m. to learn court etiquette. I told them I had altitude sickness and night sweats, so I slept till noon every single day. The etiquette matron's face went dark as a cast iron pan. But since I was just a nobody talented lady living next to the cold palace in the middle of nowhere, she couldn't be bothered. When the higher-ranked consorts threw poetry parties and sent me invites, I wrote back saying I was too dumb for public recitation and would just embarrass the host. After a few of those, nobody invited me anywhere anymore, skipped all beauty selections, called in sick to the Empress's morning greetings. Whenever the Empress sent a lady in waiting to check on me, I'd rub ginger on my eyes to make them red and swollen, play up the 1 foot in the grave look, and send her right back. On the rare occasion the Emperor randomly picked my dust-covered jade tablet, the eunuch from the Imperial Bedchamber Bureau hadn't even made it to my courtyard gate before he'd hear thunderous sneezing and gut-wrenching coughing from inside, loud enough to make even the Imperial messenger feel bad. He'd go back and report, "Lady Su's condition is serious, Your Majesty. Her illness may pose a risk to the Imperial health." Meanwhile, the other consorts were clawing at each other like feral hens over every scrap of the Emperor's attention, all for family glory and a shot at power. Today you slip something into my cream to make me miscarry. Tomorrow I plant a rumor that you're sleeping with a palace guard. No swords, no screaming, but way bloodier than anything on an actual battlefield. And me? I was out in my crumbling little courtyard next to the cold palace, peeling walls, weeds everywhere, dragging a beat-up recliner under the only crooked tree in the yard, sunbathing and sleeping like there was no tomorrow. My only real problem was that the Imperial kitchen was getting lazier and lazier with my meals. At first there was still some meat, then not even a speck of it. Greens and tofu. Tofu and greens. Watery broth. Every single day. So bland I swore my taste buds were staging a full-on revolt. I dreamed about gnawing on a juicy roast chicken more than once. Woke up with a soaking wet pillow. My face basically looked like I'd already been chewing on grass. Then one day, the palace darling herself, consort Liu Yunzheng, who had the emperor wrapped around her finger, lost her precious Persian cat, Shui Tuan, imported from Persia, more pampered than most concubines. The whole palace went absolutely nuts, everyone scrambling to find this cat, eunuchs with lanterns, maids screeching Shui Tuan at the top of their lungs. The sound carried everywhere. It yanked me right out of my midday nap. I shoved open the creaky, falling-apart courtyard gate, hair looking like a literal bird's nest, full morning grump on my face. A few young eunuchs outside were frantically digging around by the wall. I squinted, snapped a thin branch off the crooked tree, crouched down, and scratched a few lines in the dusty ground, like I was solving some complicated equation. My voice was still rough from sleep. Stop looking. Go to the Imperial Garden. Southeast corner, the big rock garden, 3rd level. There's a crack between 2 stones. Cat's napping in there. The maids and eunuchs passing by stared at me like I'd just escaped from the cold palace. One of the lead eunuchs actually let out a little snort. Pity and contempt. Zero attempt to hide it. I didn't care. Let out a massive yawn, turned around, shuffled back into the courtyard, shut the busted gate, and went right back to my nap. Less than half an hour later, someone knocked on my gate. This time the knock was polite, but there was a nervous urgency behind it. Consort Liu Yunzheng was standing at my gate, hugging a very much recovered Shui Tuan. A whole crowd of palace attendants stood behind her, not one of them daring to breathe too loud. The consort's face was like a paint palette someone had knocked over, flushing red, going pale, cycling through shock, suspicion, and wariness all at once. How did you know? I rubbed my half-open eyes, leaned against the doorframe, and answered like it was the most obvious thing in the world. Calculated it. The next day, my lunch came with a perfectly glazed, golden brown roasted chicken leg sitting right on top. I barely had a few good days before Consort Liu showed up again. This time she came in hot, storming into my courtyard with a whole posse behind her.